Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside the Nest, the first edition for men's soccer for the 2020-2021 year. My name is Jalen Ellison, and I'm joined today by second-year head coach Eddie Horn. Coach, thank you for being here.
I'm happy to do this. This is typical of the year that we're having, doing this via Zoom, so this is fun.
Absolutely, sitting right down the hall from each other, but that's okay. We're going to get it done. So, Coach, you started on April 29th of 2019, so not a lot of time to recruit for last season. But now you have had your full first year of recruiting. So this freshman class is really your true first recruiting class. It's a big group. Correct me if I'm wrong, 12 guys. I think half of them are named Ethan, but that's okay. But tell us a little bit about this recruiting class. Were there specific spots on the field you were going after or just athletes? Tell us a little bit about this class.
You are correct in that it's what I would really consider as my first recruiting class. And so we're super excited. And, hey, early indications are that we did a fairly decent job in improving the team. While we obviously lost a good senior class, we were definitely excited about the freshman class. And, when we were trying to put the class together, it was really trying to find the student athlete that really fit our profile. Very strong in the classroom, as well as what we felt like would really compete well in the GLVC in Division II, which is a super tough league. It's a super good level. We did target, I guess, a few positions that we felt like we really needed to upgrade in, but overall it was more about just improving the overall quality of the team and guys that we're really going to take the approach that it's not the hokey pokey where you put 1 foot in and take 1 foot out. We needed you to be all in. We were not very competitive, to be quite honest, in the GLVC last year. And so we really needed to find the guys that were really going to make a commitment and jump all in and really put the work in to move our program forward. And early indications are we really did that. Been super pleased with the collective. Really want to mention specific names because, like I said, overall, I think the class is really good and they're setting a good example. Going to class, showing up for weights, putting the effort in on the field as well. So we're really excited about it. And I do feel like, and maybe this is a bit arrogant to say, but we're definitely on the right path to improving our program and moving it in the direction that I think William Jewell wants us to be in, as well as I know personally put us in a position that I want to be in.
Definitely. I think anytime you're improve, we don't expect a conference championship in the first couple of years by any means, but, improvement and on the right path is where we want to be. So obviously we all know your season has moved to the spring, which is not ideal, but I feel like maybe with 12 new guys and you still being a relatively new head coach, that there may actually be a positive in that. I know volleyball has talked a lot about getting the opportunity to have a few more months to have their kids really ingrained in their system. Do you feel like that's a positive for you? Or are there other ways that you feel like this is a positive thing?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, first and foremost, I'm just excited that we're able to provide this on-campus personal learning experience, for our student athletes. I think that's extremely important in this whole process. So, first and foremost, we're just happy to be on campus. Number two, I would echo what Coach Rain said in volleyball. With so many new faces and myself being relatively new, and especially with COVID, where we really didn't get to go through the spring season, it's very important to get everybody on the same page. And so this does provide us that opportunity. I think William Jewell has done a tremendous job in really trying to put a good plan in place that's going to be safe for student athletes, staff, but yet at the same time, let us really do what we need to do to develop our players, to develop our team. And so I've been really pleased so far with, the plan as well as the progress that we're making overall. And, each day it's like it becomes a little more clear on how we want to play, kind of the roles and responsibilities within our system. And so I would agree. I think I really look at this as a real positive experience. At first, I was thinking, oh my gosh, what terrible timing to take a head coaching job because we really didn't get to recruit in the first year, and our first season came upon us so quickly. It was a little bit rough. We start making progress. Then COVID comes. We don't get to have our spring season. And then, coming into the fall with all the different things in place, it was kind of like, oh gosh. But I think when you step back and really look at the big picture, it really is a positive, and I commend Jewel and the administration for really putting a solid plan together. While, hey, it may not be perfect, I think everybody deserves some grace on this because it is so new. And, I think our players are responding accordingly. So I think it's been really good. When you're trying to figure out how to cycle all of our athletes through the weight room and practice times, the trainers, being there to make sure we're monitoring things. It really is a huge task to try to pull all this together. And I think we're learning every day, but yet at the same time, maintaining a great environment, both for learning and for our players on the field.
Definitely. It's been a big task over the last few months, but we're excited to have our kids back on the field and in the court and things like that. So you mentioned kind of roles and responsibilities within your system. You are one of 3 teams, along with the women's team for soccer and then volleyball, who are right in the midst of what we on our campus call high-risk activity, or the high-risk period, which essentially just means that you can practice almost like normal. We still wear a mask and keep distance when we can on the sidelines and things, and then you as a coach. But when you step across those lines, you get the opportunity to practice somewhat normal. So what are the things that you guys are focusing on during this 3-week period? Because it is short, but it's an important period for you.
Really, we're trying to play as much as possible, at the end of our training session, at the end of our practice, and everything leading up to that really ties into the way we play. So all of our technical training, all of our small-sided games really relate back to our style of play. And so it's in some ways, this high-risk activity, while it's wonderful, it would have been nice, maybe, again, and this is splitting hairs a little bit, where we had just a bit more time to ingrain the roles and responsibilities before we jumped into the high-risk aspect of it. But hey, I'm thrilled that we're able to scrimmage and really jump right in. So it's not really a complaint, but it is, from a teaching perspective, it didn't give us a lot of time to really go over that. We did create a game model in the off season that really kind of explains everything and the way we play, and we've shared that with the players and gone over it. And so I think they're grasping it rather quickly because it is different than maybe what's been done in the past. So overall, the progress within the team is definitely getting there, and I think the understanding each day is getting better and better. And I'm just excited to keep going and go out again today and try to get better.
Definitely. Well, I wanted to finish up with asking you, one of your players on your team is your son, Logan, and he started at State Fair and then went to UMKC when you were an assistant there under Jewel Hall of Famer Chris Sissel, and then when you made the move across town to Jewel, he came with you. That's something that's a little more prevalent at the high school level and not so much at the college level. So I wanted to really hear from you specifically on, what is that like? Because you're coach now for a few years, but you're always going to be dad. So what's that dynamic like for you two?
It's a great question, and it is an interesting dynamic. And the one thing that I've always tried to separate those two roles, and I think that I have an obligation to the college, to the other players on the team, to really take on the true role of coach and not look at things in any different way. So, and I think that Logan, he's done this before, so he really understands that, hey, what you get, you have to earn. And I made it clear to him also that whether it be fair or unfair, you can't be as good as when you're the coach's kid. You have to be better, or it's just not going to work. And then it looks like I'm playing favorites, or it's not fair, or whatever. And then I think from his end of it, I think it's important, and I think he gets it, that to backtrack just a bit, I think too many times in sports specifically, and I know especially in coaching early in my career, I really felt like that wins and losses defined if I was good or bad. And I don't think that we need to, that doesn't really define who we are or how good we are. Some situations are better than others. And so I think that it's more the positive impact that you make on the team, the players, improving the program is the most important thing. And the same thing goes with our relationship. What he does on the field is totally separate than his relationship with me as a father. And that we've really tried to separate those two. I've always tried to be supportive, but at the same time, I don't push. you want to go out and train, hey, I'll help you, and I can provide some resources, obviously, with the position that I'm in. But I don't ever say, hey, you really need to be out doing this. I've not tried to micromanage his playing career and push. He's done this because he's wanted to do it, and not from any pressure from me. But it is odd. It is a weird dynamic, especially when he makes mistakes or he doesn't play well. I know he doesn't like hearing about it from his dad, but hey, that's just part of it. And for the most part, it's been pretty good. Hey, it is special for me to be able to coach him, but at the same time, I'm sure there's times that he wishes dad wasn't around and he could maybe be a bit more of a normal college student. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. And it's been a special trip, and I'm just thankful that it all really has kind of worked out. So no, that's a great question, and thanks for asking.
Absolutely. Well, we really enjoy having him. We love having you around. You bring a lot of energy to our department in the hallway here.
Boy, you're polite today.
Always can count on you for a joke in the morning. But we appreciate you taking some time out of your day to sit and talk a little soccer with us.
Thanks for having me. I love it, and keep doing the great work you're doing. It's great great promotion for our program, all the stuff that you do.
Thank you.